Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Wanna bet?
Steve. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Well, hello and happy Friday.
Hi.
Hi. Lots going on.
Woo! Friday! Let's go! Yeah, boy! Friday! Yeah! Rock hard! Let's go! Let's fucking go!
You guys okay? You okay?
Who's that politician? Howard Dean. Howard Dean was going to be voted into like the Senate or something. Then he went on he had a speech. And he was like, and nobody voted for him.
During the Democratic primaries, he was like decently favored to be their nominee. I can't remember.
This is like 2005 or something.
Oh, it was years and years and years ago. And then he lost. But to the crowd in attendance, he tried to give them this rousing speech where next time we're going to take Iowa and Delaware and Michigan. And he just starts ramping up and naming all the states. And then we're going to take the White House. And then he goes, yeah!
Can we please bring that up? We have to play this.
You don't know this?
No, I've never seen this.
Oh my God. This was 2004, Howard Dean.
And then Dave Chappelle did a sketch about it on the original Dave Chappelle show, which was fucking almost 20 years ago now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, Howard Dean's
I've never heard of this.
crazy, man. Here we go.
You definitely have. But we were in high school.
Here we go.
Well,
Are we going to
You
get banned
guys-
for playing CNN footage?
you have already got the
16 years
picture
old.
here.
How long is this?
It's a minute.
I was
Leave
about
the
to say, I'm sure there's some disappointed people here. You know what? You know something? You know something?
Watch.
If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? You know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
So that was like one of the original memes that I ever knew from the internet.
That's got to be like E-Bomb's world, right?
Yeah. I remember
2004.
I remember watching it when I was 12, and it was a meme on the internet.
Yeah, that's from the. I hate that my brain works this way. That's from the year Ovechkin and Malkin were drafted.
Okay.
Wow.
Howard Dean going, after losing. So yeah. Anyway.
Tried to, and it instantly became this "What is wrong with this man?" clip, and he lost favor like instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly, like just plummeted down.
I think, I do think that there could be, like Daniel Tosh tried to do it, and his show was actually pretty funny, Tosh.0.
Yeah.
But there needs to be more shows just on internet culture. Just
Internet
flat out,
culture.
like I know, like is it Creamstar or something like that? That guy does like the blog. I don't know his name. I don't fucking know.
Keemstar.
Okay, whatever.
You don't watch MTV then? MTV is just ridiculousness.
Isn't that Rob Dyrdek?
Yeah, that's all they show 24/7.
Yeah,
it's
it's just
ridiculous.
the Rob Dyrdek network now,
Yeah,
right?
so
okay, I don't have
that's kind of all they do, right?
Oh, okay.
It's just these internet things that are funny.
Adam, why are you disrespecting the TV loop at Jackasters like this?
What's up with that?
The TV loop at Jackasters.
Is Rob Dyrdek? Or
Yeah,
just
when you
internet?
get the beer and cheddar soup and the chicken fingers because you're afraid to try anything else on the menu.
Right.
Because you love what you love. Right? And then you watch people ride a toboggan off a thing that they shouldn't for about 45 minutes and then you leave.
Yeah, the thing about Jackasters too is those TVs, like the clips on it are so aggressive that you almost have a hard time talking to the person who's there. You're there with. Like it's the same thing that you did with that TikTok that Steve intentionally wanted to go viral, where it's like I'm going to say something obnoxious, but also you see on the TikTok that there's like a video game playing, so it catches your eye and keeps you there. I find at Jackasters, people are either on their phones or they're watching the screen, but like you can't talk to someone else because there's so many fucking screens or the shit happening on them.
Or the chalk drawing that really rubs your face in, hey, here's the donkey's ass. ass. We got ass in the name. And that's what we named our restaurant. And you brought your kids.
That said, I do like Jack Astor's.
I love Jack
Astor's.
One of my favorite restaurants.
I'm waiting for us to get there. Jack Astor's is unbelievable.
Primo.
Chicken fingers.
Pad Thai, baby.
Adam has something that might be a hot take, but he thinks the Pad Thai is delicious. A lot of people disagree with him, but he's not wrong.
Listen, is it a complete abomination of what Pad Thai actually is? Sure.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
1,000%. But I will eat the shit out of it, though.
It's not Pad Thai, but whatever it is delicious.
Remember last time I said I married my co-host, basically? You and my wife are the same person?
Yeah.
She got Pad Thai.
She knows.
She knows.
Fucking knows.
Underrated Jack Astor's.
Underrated.
Unbelievable.
Sauced up chicken fingers or what everybody seems to like.
You know,
fun fact, Jesse, and this is before we knew you. Steve and Mrs. Dangle's engagement party was at the Jack Astor's on Front Street.
No way.
It was on the upper floor.
When you and producer Chris basically gave me a job interview for the original Steve Dangle podcast, where was it?
It was at the Jack Astor's
on Front Street.
But no, so there's the Front Street West one, which is down by the arena.
Yeah.
And there's the Front Street East one, which is where which is near St. Lawrence Market. That's where you had your engagement party. So two different Front Street Jack Astor's.
Your engagement party at Jack Astor's?
Yeah, we met at Jack Astor's for the first
awesome.
pre-show meeting for this show. Can you imagine? In May of 2013, I want to say. It's 2013. Yeah, because it was 10 years ago.
No, May of 2013 was the first episode. I think it was like April.
Oh,
I want to say the Leafs were still in the playoffs.
Did you make Chris walk to that meeting? Or did he get a drive?
Well, he didn't have a car, but I don't think I picked him up, so he might have taken the subway.
Oh, so it's been a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a thing.
Yeah, you guys just disrespecting people.
I think
that's your MO.
By the way,
I think he might not have needed hand-holding to get there and had the communication skills of an adult.
No, clearly I didn't. I got there on my own because that's all. I was left to my own devices.
Yeah, that's true.
Every once in a while, I'll see somebody tweet something on like who's a member of the network or one of the hosts or something like that. And then one of our listeners will be like, "Are you sure about that?" And then it's just a picture of the three of us, but I have a gun. And I'm pointing a gun at them. I'm like, how did that become a meme?
Yeah.
It's like just me with a gun. When did that happen?
Sometimes art mimics life.
No.
I'm pretty sure someone made it when you forced Andrew Berkshire to do Game Over with COVID.
I never forced Andrew to do that. Andrew was like, no, I'm still going to do it. And we were like, Andrew, you probably this is when there was one Game Over and it was just Montreal. And we're like, Andrew, you probably shouldn't. He's like, no, I got it. And he gets on the air and he's COVID sweats, man. But he did it and he did it a full hour and he's just like by himself. Unbelievable.
See if you can find it. See if you can figure out which one it was. But last winter around this time, I did watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle with COVID. And at the beginning of it, I'm like, this isn't so bad. And by the end of the game, I was like, I should have never agreed to do this.
I know. I don't understand why you did that.
That was dumb. That was dumb.
The Leafs.
The most important thing with Andrew and Adam, coming up this Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
Andrew gets his revenge
tomorrow. Okay, so
you're part of it.
So the Leafs really let me down at the beginning of the season. You want to know why I was so upset at them after that first week? Well, I'll tell you. Because Andrew's like, hey, Adam, let's make a bet. And if you lose, you got to do the Hot Ones challenge. And so I was like, okay. He's like a Leafs Habs bet. And he was going to let me have like who wins the season series or whatever. And I was like, no, if the Leafs lose a single game against the Habs. And they lost the first fucking game.
That's just you wanting to eat spicy food.
No.
I don't like.
That's not fair.
They play them 4 times.
The Leafs need to do better than that.
I agree.
You can't be losing the first game against the Habs.
And also the way they lost that first game too.
How was that? Can you tell me do you remember that game? Of course you do.
It was pretty back and forth. Leafs tied it, I want to say, with 2.5 minutes to go. It was a Nylander goal, I want to say. It was an exciting game, and then they just completely blew it with like 17 seconds left.
That's right. Now
I think it was Josh Anderson.
So Game Over Montreal this Saturday night, me and Andrew, Hot Ones Challenge. So
live after the game.
Right after the game.
YouTube.com/SDPN. You're going to be doing the Hot Ones Challenge with Andrew Berkshire.
That's right.
Pretty fun.
That's right.
Have fun with that. How many toilets does this house have?
More than one. Great.
Okay.
Thank my wife.
Do you think you're going to get through it?
I mean, I don't think I have a choice, do I?
Yeah, like if you bowed out because you can't handle it.
No, you can be a weakling.
I like spicy food. I really like spicy food.
You can be a weakling like Ricky Gervais.
Did he bow out?
No, he was like, yeah, I'll do hot ones, but only if I have like non-spicy things. And it's like, do you not know what hot ones is? I respect the celebrities who went on there and essentially died.
Well, Idris Elba is the funniest one. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Key and Peele. Shax is very funny.
The look at us meme. Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
That's where that's from.
Very funny. No,
Yeah.
but Ricky Gervais is like, he had Franks, and it's like, Ricky.
Did you see the Paul Rudd interview after the Super Bowl? Because he's a Chiefs fan.
The one with his son?
Yes.
Who's exactly like him?
Who sounds and looks and has the same mannerisms as him.
Who is Paul Rudd
He's
mini?
30 years younger Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Paul Rudd is 30 years younger
I
than
know.
Paul Rudd.
Man, Paul Rudd is in his 50s and people don't realize.
No, he might be 18.
Paul Rudd?
Yeah.
He's looked the same since Clueless. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
Ridiculous, that guy.
And now he's like, oh, I want to be a Marvel star.
He's Ant-Man.
Now, it was rumored, by the way, that the Toronto Maple Leafs
Are acquiring Ant-Man.
The Toronto Maple Leafs at minus 600 to minus 650, depending upon where you looked, were
Do they have
the other night the biggest favorite in NHL history.
I thought they were losing for sure.
Third.
It turned out to be the third biggest. Colorado was a negative 680 versus Arizona on January 14th, 2022. And Colorado was a negative 700 versus Montreal on January 22nd, 2022.
So that's like, if you're $2 Steve, you're going to get back like what, 4 cents?
Yeah.
5, maybe?
Yeah. So the Leafs were the third biggest favorites. And I read that before the game and I thought, fuck, if I hadn't read that tweet, now we're fucked.
I know. I thought they were going to be fine. And then I read that and I'm like, nah, maybe not.
I bet the Blackhawks to win by 3+ goals.
Did you actually?
Yeah,
What would it have paid?
I think it was 51-1, or it was somewhere, I think, in the high 40s or 50s.
What did you put down though?
I put $5.
$5?
Yeah, because it would have been hilarious.
I just don't operate
could've retired at
your
that point.
level. Like, I just don't operate at Jesse.
I keep it at the $2. I also $2 Steve.
Yeah.
$2 Steve.
Um,
Sometimes on player props, I do 1.
there you go. So the first play, which the Leafs scored 9 seconds into the game.
Yep.
And I thought the funniest tweet right after that was JD Bunkus saying, "I can't believe Kyle Dubas gave Peter Mrazek a 3-year contract."
Dude.
Which has to be the worst signing of Kyle Dubas's career by far. Like
Nick Ritchie was pretty bad.
Worse, way worse.
It was way worse, and I gotta say, at least he got out from under both of them.
And Nick Ritchie's just actually good.
You
He's
gotta
good.
be good on a good team.
Okay.
And I'm sorry
that's
it
a good
matters.
point. That's a good point. That does
I'm
matter.
sorry it matters. Like the Bruins ditched him, the Leafs ditched him, and then
Like,
and
if
then
you look at what Jimmy
immediately-
Vesey's done since leaving the Leafs with the New York Rangers again.
He's good on a good team.
He's good on a good team. That's when I'm backing you up.
Kyle Dubas also gave Cody Ceci $4.5 million.
He had to, though, because it was
No, he didn't.
Kyle Dubas also gave Sean Matthias $2.3 million.
That's when he was the assistant GM with Mark Hunter and running the team. Sean Matthias was a good trade deadline trade.
Yeah, they got
They got a second round pick or something.
They got.
No,
how am I bringing this player up for the second consecutive show? They got Colin Smith for him.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I think that's a Dubas signing. Yeah, because he was GM since April 2015, and that's a summer
Yes,
of
but
2015.
that
So
was
that's
pre Lou
half
Lamoriello.
true. That's half true. He's been GM since 2018, and there was one summer where he and Mark Hunter were like co-GMs.
Yeah, he was interim GM from April to July.
Yeah.
You don't count that?
I mean, sure,
sort
but
of.
their goals at that point were very different. And Sean Matthias was not a bad player. He was a player that you knew. He was like a Dan Winnick. You knew you were going to trade. You were going to sign him to trade him.
Someone wanted him.
So we're only counting post 2018.
No, to the 2015
2018.
summer is a great arguing point for Leaf fans because everything good they did was Dubas. Everything bad they did. Oh no, that was
Mark Hunter.
That was Hunter
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely a Mark Hunter move.
Definitely Mark Hunter move for sure.
I think so that first goal, that William Nylander goal, 9 seconds into the game, the Leafs are notoriously bad starters, but that was a play that was set up by Matthews on his own, and he took Willie aside before the game started, and he said, "This is what we're going to do," and they executed, and he scored.
And a player who were incapable of complimenting with the dart up the middle, Morgan Riley.
Oh yeah. I mean, but this is the thing. So they asked Sheldon Keefe about it, and they're like, Sheldon, like, how do you feel about players coming up with their own plays? And he's like, I love it. He's like, this is what you want. You want players looking after themselves.
They do it all the time.
I just thought that was sick. They're like, they drew it up right before the game, and they executed and made it happen. It's awesome.
I mean, hockey players are. I know the stereotype of them. They're extraordinarily smart at hockey.
Brilliant.
And I remember. Again, there's something wrong with me. I don't know why I remember this, but the Leafs' fourth goal in their 4-0 win over the Penguins, which was the game before the David Ayres game. I was there. And you know how you usually watch a Leaf game. Mm-hmm. After the goal was scored, Eric Lindros turned to me and he said, "Oh, that's a set play." And he walked me through the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, this is a very silly moment. Thank you, Eric Lindros, for that information.
I guess you just, unless you're like a coach, you probably don't realize how many of those plays are set plays. Like the obvious ones are power play and penalty kill,
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and like, how many of them are dares also? Like, you're telling me Philip Hedl in that game, the Leafs-Rangers game where he scored off the faceoff? Definitely, he'd been talking about that at practice with his teammates. Like, you know what? One day I'm just gonna.
And they're like, no, you won't. No, you won't.
No, you won't. And now we're in Toronto. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Watch, I'm gonna do it. Holy shit, he did it! It worked! And he was a hero on the bench that day.
But reading the tweet from Ben Pope, by the way, Ben Pope CST was the one that tweeted about how it was one of the most lopsided betting games ever. The goal that Chicago scored less than a minute later.
Sam Lafferty.
And of course it had to be Sam Lafferty.
Dude, the Stars were out to play. It was Jake McCabe fell down on the first goal. And then Sam Lafferty, who may actually take Calle Yarncroke's job, took the puck from Calle Yarncroke and scored.
Now, there isn't a whole lot to draw from a game like that, and even Keefe said afterwards, he's like, but here's one thing I would say.
Yeah.
If you were worried about Patrick Kane coming to Toronto, don't. Because if he was trying to audition to come here, that was a perfect game as to why you cannot acquire him.
He had one semi-good play the whole game.
He was god-awful defensively. You could tell he's injured. And the Leafs have done this. We've seen this movie. We don't need to go and get an injured player. He's still Patrick Kane, and yes, it's a bad team, but he was terrible on the ice. He has no mobility. The more I think about it, the more it does make sense for him to just re-sign there next year, get that hip surgically repaired, and then get traded next year.
There was a play where he decided, you know what, I'm just going to Gronk it. Like, I'm just going to use my speed to beat the defender like he's done 1,000 times throughout his NHL career. And he almost did it, but Timothy Liljegren just escorted him into the corner like he was helping a senior citizen across the street. Like, here you go. No, this way, Patrick. And you never know. Maybe he gets traded and he wins the Stanley Cup. It wouldn't be the first time in his career. But that game was... You have to follow the Chicago writers and like Leaf fans if you're going to talk about all the players the Blackhawks have who could potentially come to Toronto. You got to follow them. And Mark Lazarus, I think it was talking about just the mental impact of being on a team this shit and this very obviously getting demolished. And I don't mean demolished on the ice. They're demolishing the roster, right? Extending Patrick Kane, getting some sort of Patrick Kane answer might actually like propel them forward, or at least have them feeling better about themselves and playing a little bit better. But right now, I mean, why try? What's the point? Other than you're auditioning for other teams. But like, you have to go out there and sacrifice your body and kill it for your team that night. And the Blackhawks just can't do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's no evidence to suggest that Dubas wants Patrick Kane at all, and that he doesn't see exactly what we see in that he's probably not a fit here and he can't, you wouldn't pay like a big price for him or anything. There seems to be a certain faction of media and fans that are kind of like trying to publicly will it to happen. And people keep being like, oh, Kane to Toronto, even though there's no evidence that they're even like thinking about it.
Listen, at the beginning of the season, it was presented as something that could happen. And last season, if I'm not mistaken, he had 92 points. He has 3 cups. He has a Hart Trophy. All of that stuff made sense at the beginning of the season. He's having a terrible season.
I'm talking about I'm talking about now. All that stuff made sense when you're like, oh, the Matthews King connection is real. We all know that. That was his idol growing up. You know, of course he wants to play with him. But right now, it's not there.
I talked to a lot of people, and they're like, listen, you know, it's the big move. It's Dubas's last year potentially. It's all in, chips on the table. And that was a sexy storyline at the beginning of the season. It's not right now.
No, it made so much sense in September.
He's not even the best forward available.
No.
I don't think he's particularly close to the best forward available. The way he is playing. Now, is this the end of his career? Look at Erik Karlsson. Obviously not, right? I had no idea Karlsson had this left in him based on, I don't know, like
the last 2 years
worth of evidence that he was cooked. And then, you know, enough time passes and it turns out he's not so cooked.
He's going to win the Norris Trophy.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Just, man, I don't know if you have this for later in the show. If the Oilers get him, I think they win the cup. And
well,
I kind of think they need to get in on it.
Well, I think they will. And I think CJ's been talking about that, like where...
yeah, but don't talk about it. Do it.
They seem to be the dance partner. And you know what? The Sharks need to get this done as bad as the Oilers do, because what if Erik Karlsson goes back to last year's Erik Karlsson?
Turns right back into a pumpkin. Yeah, you never know.
But the Kane to Toronto thing, it doesn't make sense. And I think the Leafs general manager staff is too smart to do it. And I think we need to stop pushing it as fans.
Meyer is better. He is bigger. He is tougher. He is cheaper. He is a restricted free agent.
One thing that 32 Thoughts did talk about was potentially Tyler Bertuzzi. And I wondered if he's the cheaper Timo Meier.
Oh, boy. I don't want the cheaper Timo Meier. I want Timo Meier.
You do. So you are fully on the Timo Meier thing.
I've been on the Timo Meier train since
like before.
At least Christmas.
So I know you want Timo Meier, and I know you mentioned him before Christmas. You did do that. But I think my question more along the lines of what's, you know, I'm not stupid. I know that it's not exactly realistic. So, and people are like, well, somebody sent me actually a roster of what the Leafs would look like with Timo Meier. It doesn't include Michael Bunting, and people are like, oh, what if you don't want Bunting? You got Meier.
What? Like they put Bunting in the
trade?
trade?
You know, you could re-sign Meier this offseason. And then move on from Bunting.
Why can't we go one step at a time? Like, why is everybody so focused on July 1st? Like, let's do it now and then play the rest of the season, figure out the playoffs, and then worry about if you need to sign to
Who the fuck cares? You win a cup. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Why are we talking about July and re-signing a dude when they don't even have him yet?
Like, man, live some life. Like, you've never had your car break down. You've never found $20 in a coat. Like,
you
sometimes your day
Michael
goes...
Bunting for a guy that they haven't traded for?
No. It's as in, like, if they were to retain him. And I think the tweet that was sent to me, in fairness, was, because we did talk about it last episode about, like, can you re-sign Meier?
Sure.
And I said you could, and he said, actually, you could. But then it didn't have Bunting, and I'm like, that's okay. Like, if you have Meier, like, no offense to Bunting, I love him, but it's a definite upgrade.
Yeah, like... CJ has alluded to this, but like, let's say the Leafs are out by the end of April. The following 2 months are going to be like some of the wildest 2 months in the franchise's recent history.
Yeah.
We're talking...
You could have a president gone, you could have a GM gone, you could have a coach gone, several players.
Matthews extension or not.
So
there
comes a point where you're talking about a Michael Bunting extension. You're like, oh, this doesn't really apply because the entire Leafs world could change in a couple months.
Yeah,
it's just not the thing right now. I'm in on Meier. Friedge mentioned on the most recent 32 Thoughts the idea of getting more than one player from the same team. Where'd you get that, Friedge? I'm tired of 32 lifting from our show. I'm tired of it. Sick of it. But potentially getting more than one player from the Blues.
Yeah.
And take your pick of 2 of Barbashev, O'Reilly, and Achari. I mean, we know they're not satisfied with their bottom 6. They've been real fidgety with that. So, that could make some sense. And it would make the team better, but it's not as fun and exciting as Timo Meier.
Yeah. Yeah. There is Devils fans are circulating something. I'm going to send it to you, Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is I've
it's
seen
a good
this.
tweet. Or it's a good shirt. You can actually buy it.
Can you?
Yeah, you can buy it. You can purchase this shirt.
This shirt is going to arrive after he's dealt to not the Devils. Or to the Devils and they win the cup and I look stupid.
I think yeah, it's a really it's a good one. We'll get it up on the screen in a second, but basically it says, "Give me fuel, give me fire, give me Timo fucking Meyer."
I absolutely love that.
What a great shirt! It's perfect.
I better see a stadium full of that shit.
Especially if they get them.
Especially, well, yeah. So I'm making fun of them because this won't be delivered until after they don't get them. But what if they do, and then it's the number one selling shirt in hockey?
Oh yeah. It's
The Devils should sell this with the word "fucking." Like they really should.
Sure.
Yeah, embrace the fact that you're the Devils. You know what I mean? Like Lou Lamoriello doesn't match all the New Jersey stereotypes. He brought them success, but like, no, we need a little Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
I want their GM to wear an excessive amount of chains, rings, and have hair like a Dragon Ball Z character.
I like it.
That's what I want to see.
I like it. Did you see enough out of Jake McCabe there to get anything other than, ignoring the first goal? Like, people fall at half.
I mean, yeah, he fell. I liked him. I thought he made a really good play on the second Blackhawks goal, first minute of the second period. I don't know if Bunting made the right choice on the play. He gives it to Nylander and McCabe is right there. Or maybe he was forced into making a poor play. McCabe plays Nylander really well. Then he's able to set up Kurashev. Kurashev goes in and scores a goal. So, but like, again, the Leafs aren't evaluating the good or the bad in that game. Should we be doing the same for the Blackhawks? I don't know.
I mean, I think you got to look at, I definitely think you should.
Yeah.
Like if Patrick Kane had come in and been a standout and he'd scored a couple goals, you bet your ass it would have been all over Sportsnet and TSN. Everybody would be like, well, Patrick Kane, Toronto sure looks good, but they're going to have to give up 50 first-round picks to get him.
I think it was the Matthews goal. I didn't go in
We do it to
on
ourselves, by the way, with the trade deadline.
100%. I didn't go in on this in the LFR because he was so invisible, but Patrick Kane, he wasn't trying.
No.
He wasn't trying in the defensive end. And that's been a criticism of him through analytics. And people go, yeah, but he's Patrick Kane. He does all this crazy stuff. But when you see it, and you're able to pinpoint an individual play of him just like floating, you hear floating all the time, but there he is actually floating. Yeah, it wasn't a great audition.
Someone who also kind of disappeared was Max Domi. Just kind of wasn't noticeable. For your first line center, you don't I think he had like 2 shots, kind of just running around, didn't really make any damage. Wasn't
I don't even know if he's a center on a contender, and he's their number one.
Yeah, you'd probably throw him on a middle of the lineup wing.
He's sort of like a Kerfoot, where like, I don't know, you can or you can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you.
Like, however Carolina utilized him last season was probably the best way.
Everyone get ready to roll your eyes and groan and prepare yourselves. I thought Sam Lafferty had a good game.
That's okay.
I did.
He's allowed to have a good game.
thought he had a good
He's
game.
allowed to have a good game.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm actually, the one thing I do want to talk about after we talk to Dave here in just a minute is I cannot believe that we basically had a deal ready to go between the Kings and the Coyotes, and Chychrun is still not an LA King.
I think it got out there, and I think the Kings are pissed, and I think that deal ain't happening. At least
Is that based on anything you've heard?
Yep.
Oh, so the deal's not going to happen now?
No, that's not what I was told. But I think the Kings are mad. I think they're mad
because the Coyotes did probably what I said last episode, which is, hey, anybody else want up this?
I think the Kings are mad, and they may be in a cool down period before going back at it. I have a hard time believing Chychrun doesn't end up being a King. Because again, the trades that don't happen, I always say, how do you go from being prepared to give up your future for Chychrun to, we won't get him. Right?
It's pride.
Oh, we'll go out and get Edmondson or Gavrikov.
Yeah.
Well, those aren't the same player. What are you talking about? So I think they'll get him, but I think Rob Blake is pissed. Is it Rob Blake or Luke Robitaille?
Both. Whatever.
Yeah, it's both.
The management group.
Yeah, they're pissed. I think they're pissed.
Okay. Let's get into You Can Bet That with Dave.
You Can Bet That with David Bastel. Brought to you by Sports Interaction. Get in the action and make a play. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Today is super special because who do the Leafs play tomorrow, guys?
Montreal,
That's
who they've
right.
only beaten.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, we have a big celebration today. Dave, tell us about, first, what we're going to be talking about. This is very important at Sports Interaction.
Yeah, we have an exclusive Piñata pick for the Canadiens Toronto Maple Leafs game. So here's how it works. Fantastic odds. You basically play the Piñata and you get a time. So if your time is the first goal of the hockey game, you win at 50-1, which is incredible odds.
You're kidding me.
Here we go.
For anybody listening, Adam just pulled out an actual piñata.
And a baseball bat.
And a baseball.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You can't swing the baseball bat here. There's not enough room, so you have to cross-check like you're Shea Weber against the Leafs.
Don't swing that too hard.
You know what? I'm going to use this end.
No, just cross-check.
Well, Austin Matthews against Rasmus Dahlin.
Oh my God.
Hit it harder.
Oh my God. It went here. Screw it.
super good.
Just rip it.
Super good.
Give me the candy. There's no candy in this.
I forgot to put candy in it. Sorry, guys.
What happened? Are you kidding?
Actually, nobody told me I was supposed to put candy in it. I thought there was candy. Well, I thought they came with candy.
Oh, you stink. How dare you? You stink.
I thought piñatas came with candy.
I think you usually have to fill them out there, Adam.
Nobody told me.
You ruined my birthday, Dad.
Sorry, but I did use one of my skate laces for this. I want you to know.
Oh, did you?
I used my wax skate laces. Dave, what else do we have on the site?
Yeah.
There was no candy.
We have a ton of stuff going on. Of course, under Dangle's doozies, we have props galore for that Canadiens matchup. Let me circle in on one while I'm trying not to laugh at this. Josh Anderson to score on Saturday night is paying $350 for a yes.
Guaranteed.
That's honestly.
The guy has 12 career goals against the Leafs.
It's a guarantee.
12.
Guaranteed.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There are some picks where I say, "Oh, that's a donation. You're just donating to Sports Interaction." No, you're donating to the fans.
Yeah.
You can donate to $2, Steve.
Incredible. So you can check that all out at sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Or, download the app. The QR code's there. What?
I've never been more disappointed in my entire life.
No one told me to get candy for this piñata.
What was that?
I was set up to fail. I was set up to fail. How dare everyone?
You didn't jiggle
All
it.
of you, the three of you, and
I have
everybody
nothing
else.
to do with this.
Why would I jiggle it? It's a piñata. It should have candy in it.
I didn't know this was happening,
Anyway.
so I don't know how I was supposed to help you.
Okay.
50-1 is a lot better than candy. 50-1
That's
is
right.
a lot better.
That's right.
So
Thank
much
you, Dave.
less disappointing. That's yeah.
All right, Dave, have a great weekend. We understand that you are traveling and going to see the Jets on the road this weekend, so enjoy, my friend.
We'll see you next week.
Everyone knows Peloton makes bikes, duh. But there is also so much more to that. There is treadmills, and there's a ton of other classes like yoga, strength training, HIIT, and boxing. And Steve, you like to take a nice 30-minute ride through various locations. That's the other thing that I think people don't talk about enough is like, I feel like going to Austria and riding a bike today.
Do they have a Guernsey route?
I don't know.
On Peloton?
I am going to lobby them for it. I need Guernsey. I want to ride through Guernsey. They have Scotland.
Okay.
They do have Scotland.
We're getting close.
Okay.
They also have the Pacific Coast Highway. What do they call it? California.
Yeah.
California.
Just because it's a road I drove on.
Once you hop off the 405, you can get on
the tip.
Yeah.
Peloton offers thousands of on-demand classes available 24/7. That means you can work out whenever and wherever it's convenient to you. because nothing gets you moving like the perfect song, too. Peloton has the best playlist. So if you're looking for EDM or 90s pop, or what I do, which is 80s hard rock, I always look for those classes. Peloton has the music to fit your mood, and you can try Peloton right now, risk-free, with a 30-day home trial. New members only, not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.ca/home-trial. Hey, as a small business owner or hiring manager, you know what success in 2023 is going to look like to you, and you know it depends on your team members and the people you surround yourself with.
And mine was how big of a boat I can buy. That's success to me. 2023, big boat boy.
Now buying a boat's cool. I got it.
Okay. LinkedIn Jobs can't guarantee you a boat, but can guarantee you higher quality candidates and more efficiently find, like, ways to more efficiently find them. I wish there was a way I could say that, but the boat threw me off.
Good talking.
Not gonna lie.
Good talking, bro.
LinkedIn Jobs helps you quickly attract qualified candidates. Listen, we run a small business too, and it is very, very hard to find the right people with limited resources. You want to pay them properly, and you want to make sure they can come in and feel empowered to do their job, and LinkedIn Jobs can help you with that. It makes it easy to rate applicants based on your job qualifications. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find qualified candidates that you want faster. Post your job for free right now at linkedin.com/SDP. That's linkedin.com/SDP to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Feel like that went well.
Yeah?
I feel good about that.
That was probably the worst segment we've ever done.
No.
No.
From
That was
every single level.
No.
Adam
No.
brought a piñata and there was no candy in it. That's fantastic content.
Guys,
I'm sorry.
Guys, nobody gave you the heads up there wasn't candy.
You didn't feel it?
No, man.
You
I got
didn't
other
shake
stuff
it?
to do. I'm not walking around shaking a piñata at home.
Did you hold it in your hands at any moment?
I had it in a bag.
I'm going to beat
This
you
is
up.
your fault.
I'm going to beat you up.
This is your fault. Look at it.
I'm looking at it.
Look at it.
I'm
What's
looking at
in
it.
there?
It's water.
What else is in there?
Shame.
What else is in there?
Oh, it's piñata.
There is piñata in my water, and my water is now gross.
Well, what? That's what you get for
man,
having uncovered water in a studio. Jesse.
Imagine if it was a mic sock. Imagine that.
That's so gross. Oh
Imagine
my
that.
God.
What you thirsty? Also, like, okay, that bat is terrifying.
also,
It's a good bat.
this was when you were swinging it, it was very terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're like cross-check it. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to break it.
Yeah, but you can't swing it in here. I'm sitting here. You're going to knock a mic or knock me in the face? There's
out of the way.
technology.
Big bat.
There's like a TV behind you.
I bought that bat.
I assembled that.
By the way,
and
I bought that
can take
bat
it down.
at Play It Again Sports for
softball.
$4 because Jesse started a softball team in October 2020, and we got to play one game, and then Toronto shut down all outdoor activities.
And the softball
Outdoor
league
activities.
wouldn't refund her money.
Yeah, so they just fucking bounced.
They said it'll sit in your account. You can use it for another team sport. You can reuse it to play again in our league. And I'm like, but we all just don't want to play anymore because COVID's going to be going on for another year. And then so our money's just still, I guess.
gone.
I think the company like rebranded anything, it's gone.
Yeah,
like
the
we're never
money's
getting
gone.
that couple $100 back for our team fee. And we played one game. It was brutal.
We had a good game though.
Something
Yeah,
just-
we had a
fun.
good game.
We lost, but we had fun.
Yeah, Jesse and I fucking cleaned up.
Yeah, we went
Great.
back to back home runs.
Crushing it.
3-4 in the lineup. It was good. We had a good team.
Yeah, we did.
I'm glad about your baseball team, but something just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Were people able to see the piñata?
Oh, no. Because Dave is on the screen. So there's probably Dave's probably blocking like the fun parts
Can
of
you
the
play it
piñata
back?
part. Yeah, we'll play it back here.
no.
Let's see how
Jesse
much.
Blake!
I think this
No!
goes into the none of us knew this was happening part of it, and that nobody was prepared.
Jesse!
Like nobody.
Wait, nobody
was,
saw the piñata?
No, here we'll watch it back. Hold on. Give me
It
a second.
looks like I'm beating up the television.
It looks like you're hitting Dave with a bat.
Now people are going to know that Dave's not really on the TV.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
people can't see
Oh
this.
wow, it's actually just covered the whole thing.
Yeah, it looks like
you
it
can see it
swings.
there. Oh, that's
there you
just
go.
terrible. Wow. Oh, there we go. Okay, we saw a
I
little
nailed that. I got a good swing. Oh my God.
Dave's like, I don't know what to do with these people.
And Dave has no idea.
And you know who this was
Aw.
great for? Half the audience that listens. You know, that was great.
I wanted to get the sound on there too. And you could hear it. You could hear it.
Oh my God, what a catastrophe.
This is from
worst segment we've ever done.
Original Sin 33. I'm not sure if you brought this up, but the entire Atlantic Division has a winning record over the last 10 games played.
Wow.
The Bruins are 6-3-1. The Leafs are 6-3-1. The Lightning are 6-2-2. The Panthers 5-4-1. Sabres 6-3-1. Red Wings 7-3-0. Senators 7-3-0. Canadians 5-4-1.
Wow. Holy crap.
That's an 8-team division.
I have to tell you,
wow.
Straight up, don't tell me that divisional matchups are a good thing right away in the first round. We're gonna fight. You're killing all the good fucking teams, man.
Wow.
And yes, I'm a Leafs homer, but come on.
You know, there are some people who disagreed with us when we were like, the Atlantic is a beast and the East is better than the West. And when we
I'm
said
sure
that at the beginning of the year,
you can find anybody on the internet to say anything.
all right,
You really can.
It's true.
Come
You know,
on.
that is Steve's rule.
Mrazek for Vezina.
The other thing I want to throw out there is, I'm not sure if you saw this, but there is a Ross Boston YouTube video, and I've just... So, Steve, explain...
People are too goddamn fast.
This is so funny. So, explain Ross Boston for people that might have missed last episode.
Okay, so we were talking about loading up and like for the Leafs, and do you go all in this year, or are the Bruins just too good and you wait for next year, because hopefully next year the Bruins aren't as good.
Right.
Except we hope for that every year, and it just never seems to happen.
Right.
Right? Like this year the Bruins were supposed to take a bit of a step backward, even though it's sort of a Last Dance vibe, because I don't know,
They're old and shit.
they got some old parts and, you know, all that stuff.
Not so much.
Then we talked about next year how, like, okay, let's say Krejci retires and Bergeron retires, and okay, they're basically designed to take a step backward next year.
Mm-hmm.
Except next year, they're probably going to sign some college free agent named Ross Boston, who's going to score 70 goals. And we laughed about this very made-up, not real person. Someone made a full season of this made-up, not real person named Ross Boston.
I said in our discussion, I was like, if somebody had a Be a Pro of Ross Boston, I would binge watch the hell out of that. And G20, who is an NHL streamer on YouTube,
20,000 subs.
Yeah, he made it. The first episode of Ross Boston.
It's over 12 minutes long, and it was uploaded like less than 24 hours after the
You guys wanna
episode
play a
came
little
out.
Oh yeah, play the. Yeah, it's good. It's
All right,
good.
Here we go.
Ross Boston, who's gonna fucking score 70 goals and win the Selke, and it's gonna be the most frustrating thing of all time.
Cup of
Ross Boston here to bring the fucking cup back to Boston. It's gonna be
I
so
would
frustrating.
binge watch the hell out of a Be a Pro career of Ross Boston.
Yeah.
Pricey pond hockey you got going there. Welcome to Roston, baby. The boss Roston career. The Ross Boston career mode is here, and if you couldn't tell by that fantastic name, we are going to be doing an Enforcer Be a Pro finally on the channel. It's been requested for a hot minute, and you know what? The Steve Dangle Podcast, man, they came up with a hilarious name, and it sparked a light. I went into the phone booth, I put my suit on, and here I am, baby, here to save the day. Ross Boston career mode, we're doing it. We gotta, man, let's just pick a fate. Like, I'm not trying to spend too long creating this guy. The one thing we do need, though, is a massive stash. Oh, yeah. Okay, now he looks like he's on drugs.
Yep.
Let's go with a Joe Valle. You already know. This is a pure
Gretzky.
enforcer. We're not doing anything. I'm not. Oh, no. Big shoulder pads. We got to knock some heads, baby. Hey, EA, can we have the
Big
oven mitts
mustache
back?
so you can
Seriously, can we
taste
have the
your-
oven mitts? That'd
taste
be
and
cool.
smell
I
your
would
Dunkin'
love to have
Donuts
that.
all
Maybe that
day.
should be my next gimmick. Last year was the Mere Advisor advocate. This year it could be the oven mitts advocate. I don't know. I give this man a random shot style and let's go. Let's launch the career of Ross Boston, baby. Enforcer. Now, sniper. Well, what does this look like? Power. Oh, do we go with power forward though?
Oh, maybe.
He scored a goal! He 2 goals! Okay, so we're 2 games into the preseason. We're undefeated, and Ross Boston has 2 goals in the sim because, of course, he does. First game of our NHL career, and our first victims are going to be the Washington Capitals. And who is on my line? I don't know. Let's
Does he
find out.
fight in the
I bet
first
it's a
game?
great line. Boy, howdy, this is a third
Ross
line
Boston
of
with
Ross
Charlie
Boston,
Coyle.
Charlie Coyle, and Pavel Zacha. We are going to destroy worlds. Look at how big he is next to
Holy
Ovechkin.
shit.
Oh my God. Here we are,
She's
baby,
like
in the tunnel.
6'5". He's
He's
towering
6'7".
over
Boston
6'7".
6'7",
opener.
250.
Towering over Ovi.
Of what promises to be a
First career
fantastic
game, Ross
career,
Boston.
because he's a Bruin. Then there's no other way his career turns out. Let's be honest. Let's can we wrap this up? Can we get to the ice? Thank you. Let's go, America! And we and Bergeron and we're on the. You're giving Ross Boston some power play time.
This guy's funny,
in his
man.
first game. I love this.
G20, you're
Ross
good
Boston. Go to the net. Oh my God! If we just had one bounce in off our butt cheek.
Get in there,
into the net
69.
first shift. We're gonna go to the net though. Like we're 6'7". You know, that's kind of what we do back at the point. There you go. We got the assist.
Is that
On a
it?
very
No,
good
71.
shift.
Secondary
Back to
assist,
the
though.
point. Feed the middle, and that is a 1-0 lead for the Boston Bruins. The Boston, yeah, sure. Why not? Let's just fail at talking. Oh, hold on. Can we take him wide? No, we absolutely cannot take him wide.
We gotta get a goal back.
You're way too big.
Out here.
Come on.
Look at us being a net front presence.
Oh,
We're
look
gonna
at
be
him.
even better than Thomas Holmstrom down there, okay? We got to get our first
stick
hit back.
heel.
I promise I'll do enforcer things at some point. It's just I haven't had the opportunity. Oh, clap! We're just gonna clap
Ross
shit
Boston almost
bombs
scored. He had
right
the
right
fucking
slot
spot.
area.
He does
Hey, buddy, you
listen.
want to cut inside so I can absolutely wreck your shit? Oh, that's gonna be a missed pass apparently. Oh, you're dead. You're dead. Ah! Ross Boston with the big
Do it
hit.
for
Yes,
Boston,
sir.
Ross.
Yes, sir. Feed the middle of the ice. Not happening. Into the corner. You're dead too. You just
What
wait
a
until
brick
there's a
shit.
whistle. I will slash the hell out of somebody. I better not find 43 out here. I swear to God. So the first period's in the books. We're up 1-0. Off an assist by Ross Boston. This ain't good. Oh yeah, this is our moment. This is our moment. Slash.
Here we go.
I better not
Hold on,
find
we're gonna cycle
43
through
out
the
here.
middle.
There it is. There it is.
Ross Boston, first NHL
First
career
career
goal
goal,
with the
Ross
wooden stick out
Boston.
here.
Let's go,
And it's
Ross!
2-0 bees. Who is this old man?
Hey, there's
it's
the puck.
crazy.
Yeah!
Even a trainer is on the verge
All
of
right.
retirement here on the Bruins, but still performing at a high level, I'm sure. That means we're only
I better not find 43 out here. I swear to God.
That is everything we could have ever asked for.
I want Ross Boston jerseys. Can we get Ross Boston jerseys?
I would love one. Fuck.
Is a Bruins jersey with Boston on the back.
Yeah, and a 6'9". Yeah, wouldn't that be fucking
Here's his
awesome?
first career fight, if you guys want to see it.
Oh, did he win?
Oh, let's go. Who is he fighting? Who's 44
44
on
on
the
the
Coyotes?
Who knows the numbers on the Coyotes? Anyone?
Oh, Cassian. It says right there. We're idiots.
Oh, that's a
yeah.
good fight. Good tilt.
Oh, you won. Nice.
Beat his ass. Let's go, Ross.
That Gordie Howe hat trick.
That's right.
Hey!
Goal assist,
Goal
yeah.
assist to fight. First career game.
Not
you do all
bad,
that.
Not bad.
Well done,
I
Rob.
don't know about you, but that was great listening. I thought that was great content.
There was some funny. He has some funny
That's good
lines.
shit.
America.
America.
Yeah, when the flag came out.
Oh, that's
that
good.
was wonderful.
Oh man. So listen, I think Ross Boston has some legs here, guys. I think this is a thing. I want a Ross Boston jersey. I might have to invest.
He's got some legs and a couple fists. Ross Boston.
Boston 69 jersey.
Can you
get 'em.
imagine? I want this person to be real so bad.
Well, I know. Could we create like? It'd be nice if we create some like fan fiction around Ross Boston. Like, could we create a whole career? Not like that kind of
Whoa,
thing. Not
whoa,
sexual.
whoa,
no
hey,
fan
Tumblr!
fiction. Is that
Tumblr brought back the nudies.
oh, they did.
I think so. I
That's
think
because they got to bring back the people.
yeah, because they banned
Nudes, and then everybody's like, "Fuck Tumblr."
everyone's like, let's not be on Tumblr.
Oh yeah, I was here not for the nudes. Apparently, it's funny. Tumblr died as soon as they did that. I think Ross Boston needs to have, and not all fan fiction is fucking, by the way.
No.
no, some
I think
of
we
it
need to
is-
have.
Sorry.
We need to have a Ross Boston sort of like storyline, career arc. Is he a 5-year? Is he an 8-year? Is he a 10-year vet?
No,
The Hall of Famer.
You think he's a Hall of
easy.
Famer?
Yeah.
easy.
Boston Hall of Fame.
I like that. Key to the city. Do you think?
Like, he definitely wins
Easily.
a cup and is like the fourth most important piece, but he goes to the Hall of Fame anyways.
Brings the cup out to the mound at Fenway in the summer
Yeah.
and throws out the first pitch.
Yeah.
I coid see him taking the cup and just breaking it over his knee too, and everybody
Yeah.
going, "Fuck yeah, Boston! Let's
Yeah.
go! Let's fucking go, Boston! Hardcore!"
He throws the cup into the harbor.
Yeah, and the harbor.
Oh my God, man.
Oh man. Anyway, I needed to bring that up. Now,
Good friends with Tom Brady.
Grav posted this, and I have not seen this press conference, admittedly. Okay, we'll get into some serious shit next, but I wanted to play this because Grav just captioned this as I love Grav. This is if AI generated a John Tortorella press conference, this would be it.
Oh my God.
So it's 2 minutes, and I just figured we'd go through it like the Bella Hadid video.
Okay.
Because I got it on. I sent it to you via text.
And you have not seen this.
I have not seen this.
Oh, so we don't know what to expect.
No idea.
So, like, I wonder, is it going to have the visual like Drake or?
All right, here it is.
All right,
John Tortorella talking.
And we'll stop and start.
You have the answer to that.
Oh, here, let me go back.
I feel this one compared to your last performance against the Kraken.
You have the answer to that.
They lost 6-2, by the way.
Last game you mentioned. You mentioned exhaustion, structure, some of the reasons that.
Wait, you said this was AI.
No, pause it. No, pause it. I said this is a John Tortorella press conference if AI had created it. As in, it's vintage John Tortorella.
That was Grav's tweet.
Grav tweeted that. That was his.
Yeah, no, you were expecting.
Did you think this is a chatbot AI John Tortorella?
Yeah, and I'm like, man, but this is real.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool. Can you do that? I don't even know.
All right, let me. What are we doing now?
Keep
We're doing
going.
this.
Just keep going.
No.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Right.
Keep going. Keep going.
Well, I guess. No, not really, because we don't know, I guess, what you were saying in the room, what the plan was.
Well, I'm not going to. It doesn't do me any good to tell you what's going on in the room right now.
Why wouldn't it do us any good?
Because that's stuff that we have to figure out in the room belongs in the room. So you're going to have to kind of go with it yourself here as far as what you want. It's pretty self-explanatory what you saw out there, so you really don't need my comments.
So I guess what would you tell the fans?
I'm not too concerned about the fans right now. I'm concerned about the hockey team.
But in terms of a loss like this, I mean, how
can we just pause for a second? That reporter does a great job. If it were me in that scrum, I'd be like, all right, he's in a shit mood and I'll back off after 2 questions. She was like, no, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Why wouldn't the fan? What do you want to say? What are you saying in the dressing room? What do the fans like? What do you say to the fans? I like that.
I know a lot of people are going to be like, okay, what exactly is John Tortorella supposed to say? But like, guys like him sometimes, and Darryl Sutter too.
We'll get into that
yesterday.
That's next, by the way. That's my lead.
Like,
to Darryl.
I understand you not wanting to give up too much information, but like, you're there.
Also, when you're the one writing the open letter to the fans, because you're the representative to the fans, because John Tortorella is the biggest star on the Flyers at the moment.
Yeah, the very next day, he says, I'm not concerned about the fans.
I'm sorry, but you have to. You are A, and B, you're the representative to the fans.
No, like, you're standing there, okay? Marshawn Lynch was able to get away with it because he did it for 1 week at the Super Bowl. Like, you can't do this for 82 games. And also, at least Marshawn Lynch was funny. You know why I'm here. Like, at very least, that was funny and memeable.
Yeah.
This is just sort of, he's pouting. You know what? This is pissy. He's being pissy.
How much time do we have left there, Jess? Do we just leave it? Or do we keep going?
We got 50 seconds.
Oh, I think we keep going.
Yeah, we keep going. No, and like, she's doing her job.
She's killing it.
A lot of reporters would, back off. Oh, he's not in the mood today. And they do it for, at the end of the day, you do have to have a relationship with these people. But she's like, no, give me something.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, John, but you've gave us all the impression that if we poke you enough, you're going to say something funny. So might as well poke him.
Right.
If you're in the same city as John Tortorella, it's your job to poke him.
Keep going.
Coming into tonight, even in your losses, the games had been close.
No, not the last couple.
I guess after several of them, you said you still didn't mind the effort.
She's again.
How is this changing that?
I'm not going to give you any. Don't you get it? There's no sense in me giving you information. I am not going to talk about my hockey team after a performance like this.
Why are you standing there? Then leave.
Doesn't do the team any good. Those are the people I'm most concerned about.
Walk away.
It's a long road trip. You have 3 more games. How do you avoid tonight's effort and execution snowballing into those games?
We'll just keep working at it.
Leave.
Thank you.
Don't say thank you.
She did a great job.
Don't say thank you. You say thank you when you have something to be thankful for.
I think you say thank you anyway.
No,
just-
after
just for
that,
the
you say
sake of it.
get lost.
Now,
Can you imagine? That would be fireworks.
there's nothing
Get
really.
lost.
There's nothing really on the line in Philly. We knew they were going to be bad. John Tortorella's like they're bad, and then wrote a letter like last week saying, "Hey, we're still bad."
They've
and there's
been
a lot of work to
fine.
do. They've been fine, but they're
Recently.
bad. But I know they've been fine recently. But you know,
Yeah.
everybody can be fine recently at least once throughout the year. It always gets me. I'm like, oh, X team is bad. They're like, well, have you seen their last 10? They're 5-4-1.
Almost
That's like,
every team in the East has been fine recently.
100%. And that happens throughout a year. But the reality is when you're, 25 and below, that 3-week stretch is nice, but the other 40 weeks are bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to come to Calgary where there is something on the line. And I'll want to start with the obvious. Alan Walsh tweeted this out, and this is what I woke up to on my phone, on my For You page, because Alan is somebody, obviously a close contact.
What? Why?
And it's one of the first tweets I see. I see Jesse's, I see Steve's, I see SDPN people's first. And Alan said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Also, negativity sucks the joy out of the players. CC at NHL Flames.
I love that because just in case you weren't sure exactly what he was speaking about, he does CC NHL Flames. Thanks, Alan.
Eric Francis has all these quotes from Sportsnet. He said, it starts with this, and I thought this was interesting. Chris Tanev, after that game, was like, we need to play with more emotion. Obviously, a must-win game, but we didn't show up. I'm supposed to be a leader, so I'll take responsibility for not having everybody ready. But what?
You'll take responsibility for that, Chris.
Right.
Okay, I wonder if the coach will do that.
So the coach, obviously, people have been in Calgary been asking for like a goalie change for a month now, and finally Dan Vladar gets the spot, and maybe it's his net now. And they're playing against Detroit, who are a good team, a much improved team, but they're not yet a playoff team.
They can score.
They certainly can, and they did last night. And here's Darryl's quote on Dan Vladar. Well, it certainly didn't give us an opportunity to win, did it?
Because he was asked about the goaltending. And as usual with Darryl, the video and audio is so much worse.
Yeah. The audio of it actually is way worse. And then he said that the team didn't really show up with any emotion. I'm just wondering here, because every time I mention that Darryl Sutter's not going to be there, people are like, well, he signed an extension.
And I was reminded yesterday, he won the Jack Adams.
Yeah, he did. And
won
I think
Coach of the Year.
deservedly so. I don't take that away from him.
Yeah, but that trophy is also a death sentence.
So, getting off that for just a second, the Flames, Brad Treliving, we can agree, did a very good job this summer. Two major stars won it out.
It looked like
he was able to bring Huberdeau and Kadri and Weegar in.
Mm-hmm.
And there are now rumors about potentially Weegar getting moved, which is wild.
He signed an extension, I thought.
There was some rumors. Now, I want to ask you, where do you put this? Where do you put the blame here? Someone's got to take it. Is it Treliving? Is it the roster construction, which Sutter has suggested several times in the press conference? There's no one's going to finish. Is it Sutter, the coach? Because the team is remarkably similar to last year's team, only Markstrom is a ghost of himself, and that usually will kill you, and they don't necessarily have like the finishing power that they used to. Or do you put it squarely on the players? Where's the blame here in Calgary?
If I had a post-STPN press conference,
okay,
and people kept asking me about, let's say the show wasn't doing well, and people asked me why the show wasn't doing well, and I kept making allusions to, I'm not sure our Virgin morning radio hosts are pulling their weight. And also the guy in charge of directing the show, like sort of, where the show goes isn't going great. And the guy who wears Aaron Andrews collection pajamas, is sort of getting in the way of our success. Would you like me very much?
It would certainly, especially if you were my boss, because we're all partners in this business. So
yes,
we're all
equal partners. So this,
but if you were my boss, yeah, I think I'd be a little disheartened.
No. Now imagine. Okay, so yes, you're thinking about it from the perspective of the coach dumping on the players, which Darryl Sutter does all the time. What I'm alluding to, and this is much more serious, is Darryl Sutter dumping on the general manager. He's dumping on the job that the general manager has done. Darryl, you know what? I'm going to do you a big favor, and I'm going to fire you, tell you to get out of here.
But he's not Tree Living's guy anyway, and he knows that.
But, like, you're obviously not happy here. You don't like the goaltending. I gave you, like, one of the most expensive decors in the league, and deepest. I brought in Kadri, the belle of the ball, a guy who rejected a trade here a few years ago, and he can say everything he wants about, no, I actually like it here, whatever. And I brought you a guy who set the left wing assist record last year, and all of a sudden it's listen, it can't be everyone's damn fault, Darryl. And you just keep shitting on the job I'm doing. I don't like you. That would be me if I was Brad Treliving. And Brad Treliving is a GM who I've criticized many times in the past. And heading into this offseason, I thought the writing on the wall was this guy's done. It's over with Brad Treliving. But I'm looking at the roster, and I'm sorry, what's the problem? Okay,
it's a good team.
I don't love their left side, but they're 1, 2, 3 up the middle. Actually, their center core is Lindholm, Kadri, Backlund, Lewis. That is stellar. Stellar. I like their right side. I like their decor. Markstrom's turned into a pumpkin. Okay,
Yeah,
I think
has.
it's fair that he's been garbage.
Yeah.
Vladar's given them some pretty good games. I don't know. Like, Darryl, I think I'm just going to do you a favor and fire you. Fire you. I'm going to pay you to not work and pay you to not coach this team that you very obviously hate. Darryl Sutter does not like the Calgary Flames of 2023. Isn't that obvious? Isn't that very obvious? He doesn't think they try. He doesn't think they can finish. He doesn't think they can stop a puck. He hates this team. Do him a favor. Get rid of him.
Well, but this is the problem, and I've been saying this since the beginning. He's Murray Edwards' guy. He is not Tree Living's pick.
That's what Western Canada does best. Have owners get directly in the way of their own team success.
Well, the 3 Canadian Western teams, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't count Winnipeg as a Western team. They're a Central team to me. How's that?
Well,
Yeah.
and that's
fair.
And that's an interesting one. But no, I'm referring to the 3 teams
that are objectively the West.
Vancouver, like Aquilini is he's the king.
Daryl Cates is absolutely very involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but he does let his guys do his thing. It's just he surrounds himself with the 80s Oilers.
Less so recently, and he happens to be blessed with this just unreal
lottery ticket
player. You talk about generational talent. That's a once in a generation,
multi-generation.
Yeah. And the Flames. Oh my God, constantly getting in the way of his team's success. I'm just so tired of I'm tired of him. I'm just tired of Darryl. And I am tired of seeing his press conferences on my Twitter feed like once a week. Imagine the guys who have to go through a Darryl Sutter practice.
Julian McKenzie.
Oh.
But like even the players, like you sitting here in Toronto, who's not even a Flames fan, are sick of Darryl Sutter.
I don't care if they win or lose.
Imagine being under him and that's your coach and you got to deal with this guy. I don't think any of the players like him. I don't think the management likes him, and I don't understand why he's still there.
I've been told his pregame speeches are eulogies.
I was going to say.
And that's when they're good.
Imagine that guy. Like, we perform for a living. Not in the NHL, but this is a performance we're putting on.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine somebody like that is the guy that's supposed to get you pumped up for this.
He doesn't we don't have to yell and scream and shout, but like
get you motivated though. You do have to do that.
I think you can be a stoic, and that's fine, and it works for you. I mean, like at the end of the day, Darryl Sutter's had a lot of success in this league. He's won divisions. He's won. I don't know.
Yeah, we get that. We get all that. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. No. I'm so sick of hearing that.
No, I know.
Yeah, you won the jacket. I get it. But what are you doing now?
Coaches, this is the thing. So, but you just signed him to an extension, and
I guess you're paying him,
and he just won Coach of the Year. The saying "coaches get hired to get fired" doesn't paint the picture. You hear it often. Head coaches get stale. This dude is stale as month-old bread. No one in that room wants to play for him right now. So if there's an effort thing there, it might be because they kind of think you suck, dude. You don't make work fun. You don't make
And it's
playing
hockey. It should be fun.
It should be a little bit fun. The Flames were fun as hell last year. They were really, really fun. And this year, they're just sort of... I saw that they were in a playoff spot, and I was surprised. I don't know if they're going to...
Well, the West is pretty bad.
Oh, man.
The West is pretty bad. And we still might have a cup winner out of the West, but they're
not in a playoff spot right now. It's Minnesota.
They're bad.
It's Minnesota who got knocked down to a wild card spot, by the way. And I got to say, I'm surprised the Oilers are still in a wild card spot. I really believe in that team. Like if they make a big ad and they just find a way to get in, which right now they're fine. Oh man, I don't want to play them.
That's Edmonton.
Yeah, that's Edmonton.
Yeah, they need to figure out how to play some defense.
Yes,
everybody on the team, like,
or just double down on offense with Erik Karlsson and call it a day,
or do that,
right?
Which I think is, believe it or not, the easier thing to do.
When it comes to the Flames, I think it's like Bruce Boudreau's there. Like Damian Cox's article from the other day should have been about Calgary. That is literally, if he had replaced Sheldon Keefe with Sutter, it would have been like, wow, it would have been that meme. The worst person you know makes a good point. You know what I mean? Like, and that guy in that meme looks like Damian Cox, by the way. He does, and it's not because it's like that is a legitimate criticism that can be leveled. This team needs to have a little fun.
You know, and there are going to be people who, oh yeah, that's who you need to drive you to playoff success is Bruce freaking Boudreau.
You need to drive to the playoffs first.
But like,
you get there.
You hear about tacticians and you hear about motivators.
Mm-hmm.
I get the impression Darryl Sutter is a tactician on account of he's definitely not a motivator. But this team just feels like a team that needs a motivator right now. They need joy. Mm-hmm. They play joyless hockey.
Well, you know what? They have a habit of hiring joyless coaches. Glenn Gulutzin, Bill Peters, who else?
And then I think it was Darryl.
And then it was Darryl. Like it's just morbid. Remember, I used to make fun of Glenn Gulutzin's press conferences regularly. Yeah. I'd be like, "This guy is morose, and it's a good hockey team."
And he seems to be an okay assistant coach. And we've talked about this on the show. Some guys, they're great assistants. They get promoted to head coach, and they find out they're better off being an assistant. Mm-hmm. Right? That's 3 hires in a row. Where at least Sutter has a track record, for God's sake. Gulutzin, at very least, was, you know what? He doesn't have much of a track record. Let's see what he's got. And then there's Bill Peters, who did have a track record of not being very good.
And Calgary bent over backwards to get him anyway.
Which is so weird because, I remember we talked about it at the time. Bill Peters was never a good idea. And then we found out all the other stuff. He kicked a player in Carolina. He said something racist in Chicago or with Rockford, whatever. And now, I don't know. I feel like maybe comparing Gulutzin and Peters to Sutter isn't the most fair.
We're not comparing. We're just saying that they have a track record of hiring guys who are glum. Is that what part of that's incorrect? It's literally glum. It's just.
That's such a good
It's
word.
probably, the personality that the owner attaches to and, the interview process and, the people he likes and have around him, you know?
Oh, good.
How much?
So why fire anyone ever?
Yeah.
Keep Sutter forever. Sign him to a lifetime contract if that's what you fucking want. This is not what this team needs right now. And also, stop burning money. Billionaires need financial advice. Knock it off. Get out of your own way. Why have Brad Treliving then? You're making all the fucking decisions.
Hold on, though. Bill Peters was Treliving's guy. So if I was Murray Edwards, I wouldn't trust him either.
What's he still there for?
Well, I guess because of the offseason that he had, which was really good.
Yeah, but is it?
Well,
look at him in the standings.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, what this comes down to, who's the president?
Bean? What is his name?
John Bean.
John Bean. That's the president?
Yeah.
Listen, do yourself a favor. Whoever is making the decisions, because we keep talking about, he has the favor of ownership. He has the favor of the president. Fire everyone and you do it. That's the way it is anyway. Just save some money. Fire everyone and you do it. Why not?
We're all sad. I have a picture of all the Flames executives.
No,
on
they're
screen.
smiling. They're not glum.
No, they're not the head coaches though.
Glum's such a good word.
They are.
That's a great word. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's like that filter that people put over faces where their eyes poke out and they're sad. Like like what you see them on.
Oh,
like,
yes.
It's just like it's like a filter that whatever. It's like you could do that with every Calgary coach. I don't know, for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I just think it's stale, man. And it worked. It worked like hell last year. It doesn't work right now. It doesn't work right now.
Now, do you say, "Oh, it hasn't been long enough," and you give them time to turn it around, or do you do something different?
Oh, I mean, what do the Flames do better than wait?
I think there's so much proof of concept here with the Flames that it's not working. Especially if you go all the way back to the Edmonton series where they just pooped their pants and it wasn't great at all. And now we have a whole 3/4 of a season of Markstrom. What's wrong?
They haven't been the same since then, have they?
No, not at all. They were and they were at the highest of highs coming out of that first round series, and then you go in that Edmonton series and they get wall-upped, and then their two biggest stars leave. They bring in two new stars, and then they can't get it going together, and it's been a whole disaster of a season. It's been downhill since mid-May.
It's kind of ironic that they made a trade with each other, but there are two very good teams who won their respective divisions, who lost in the second round and allowed it to break their brains. And that's the Calgary Flames and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers are like starting to recover. They're starting to recover, and they might make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're climbing back into it.
Yeah,
they're getting closer.
Flames
Because Washington, unfortunately, with John Carlson out, like they're not very good. They haven't been very good lately, and like Ovi's missed some time because of the passing of his father, and they seem to be like the team that's kind of going to be on the outside looking in, and one of Buffalo, maybe Detroit, maybe, who knows, or Florida grabs that spot from Washington. Kind of how I'm looking at it playing out.
Yeah, Anyway, we're going all over the place with the Flames. At the end of the day, I think they're a very good team.
They are.
I think they're a very good team.
I think it's time for a coach.
You mean very, very talented, because they're not good right now.
No,
you think they have a lot of talent that is underperforming?
Yeah, dude, this isn't me like putting on my pom poms and cheering for Allen, like and his clients,
Have we even brought up Jonathan Huberdeau? I don't think we've talked about him.
No, but like that's how we got here.
I guess. Yeah.
I think it's implied, Mr. Wild.
Yeah, but like,
oh my god,
I've been on this for like a couple months. Not necessarily saying rah fire Darryl Sutter, and like I'm not cheering for someone to lose their job.
No, it's just
I'm
sometimes
cheering
it's the wrong fit.
Yeah, I'm cheering for if we're talking about how a team can be better.
Yep.
Rarely do we get on here and talk about, all right, so here's how you get worse. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's how you do it with the Flames. So I think you need a new voice. And
there you go.
Yeah, that extension sucks. But what are you going to do?
Too bad.
Well, no. The other option is you just sit in it and get killed in the first round, I guess.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I mean, as someone whose team has lost in many consecutive first rounds, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, it sucks. Want to bet?
Yep.
Then get into the action at Sports Interaction. Whatever your sport, Sports Interaction has you covered. Bet pregame, in-game, or on one of the many unique prop bets. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Thank you. Or in Ontario, download the app now using our QR code at the bottom of the screen. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Jesse, I got one more thing to show us until we do the press conference here. Bella Hadid listens to this podcast.
You're convinced?
If you remember from a couple episodes ago, I brought up Bella Hadid thinking about pizza. And what it was a Vogue magazine clip where they ask her about what her favorite food is. And she's like...
ID.
It's ID magazine?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just like, I like pizza
we
every
week
day.
Back and forth.
Yeah. I like pizza every day.
So then she posted a bunch of pictures on her Insta stories about how she has so much pizza all the time. No. So this is from her Insta stories about all the pizza that she eats, guys. These are her pizza stories. And I just...
Oh my God, that's so many.
So many pizzas. Courtney reached out and said, hey, just so you know, Bella Hadid has had it. And she
it's
wants you to,
pizza.
She has eaten pizza before, and she's taking it's a bunch of that. Literally is supposed to be her camera about. She just takes pictures with pizza.
You know what? Bless her. She does what I want to do.
Just eat pizza all the time?
I had chicken salad the other day. You think I wanted that?
No, you want pizza.
Yeah,
you for sure want pizza.
I hope this was a attempt by the people who run her social media to be in on the joke now. So now that it went viral and she was a meme for her robot I eat pizza every day thing, I hope now her social media team has decided, like, hey, we're going to be in on the joke. Here's all of the times Bella's eaten pizza, blah, blah, blah. And not what probably is happening. She's getting a little defensive. At the viral
dear.
meme. So I hope it's the first one and not the latter.
She's definitely not mad about sounding like one of the green aliens from The Simpsons.
She's definitely not mad. Or I hope they're in on the joke now.
Pizza every day? Like a human. I have human food like humans.
Oh, man. Well, there it is, guys.
Ah, bless her.
Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
As Aubrey Graham would say, big shit poppin'. This weekend, we are sending down S. Barahaney of SDPN Sports and of the Objective Basketball Pod to the NBA All-Star Weekend. Follow along on our social channels at SDPN Sports to follow along his journey there. He is down there with
the Producer Drew.
Producer Drew of Producer Drew fame, of Cam and Stu as well. Cam and Stu. Drew and Stu.
Yeah.
By the way,
Cam Stewart.
Were you guys, I was texting with him all morning. I hope he gets to Salt Lake on time.
Why? What happened?
They were de-icing his plane. He was on the tarmac for 2.5 hours.
Oh, no, because they have a connection to make in, I think, Calgary.
My last text to him was they finally finished and they were about to take off, and it should get him there with about an hour to 45 minutes to spare.
Well, that's awful.
Okay.
I hope those gates are close to each other.
Yes.
It's nice when the airline knows that there are connections to be made on the plane. They're like, okay, everybody with a connection, fucking get your shit and get off the plane first. Like that. Hopefully they get that. But yeah, so there'll be a live stream on Saturday night. S will be doing a live stream at a bar in Salt Lake for the skills competition, which is always one of the biggest events in the NBA calendar throughout the year. The 3-point competition looks like it's going to be a smash. And Philadelphia 76ers have a guy named McClung that's going to be in the dunk competition. McClung.
Oh, McClung.
I forget his first name. Mike McClung, I think. I should just check. But he is not a Philadelphia 76er. He plays for their G League team.
What?
But they signed him to a 2-way contract like 2 days ago so that he could be in the dunk competition.
No. Oh, he better be wild.
Because there's a problem in the NBA right now with none of the stars wanting to embarrass themselves in the dunk competition. It's been happening for a few years now, and it's kind of going down the hill. So now we have ringers who are literally like, this guy, he's an incredible dunker.
Screw it. Just entertain.
Right. Yeah. We might see something awesome out of a guy that nobody knows, and I don't know. What are your guys' feelings about that?
I'll let him
you
do
bring
it.
in the ringers because you don't have the stars.
If the stars are going to be such babies about it, like, is it really that? Is it really something that's going to like hurt your brand image if you throw a bad dunk at the dunk competition?
They think so.
Okay, well then bring in some guy that will. I like that, and you know what I like about it? It gives the dunk competition something that's interesting because it really has struggled in the last few years. People are not really going for it the way they used to, and I like an underdog story. Yeah. This is great.
Mm-hmm. So his name is Mac McClung.
Mac McClung.
I should get his name right.
That's a great name.
So
I like that.
He's not a professional. Like, there are guys who are professional dunkers. I don't know if you guys ever see them on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff. They do crazy shit. But Mac's half in that world where he does crazy dunks and stuff that people don't really do if you're an NBA player.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's interesting. Like,
it's weird because the 3-point competition lineup is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's stellar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the dunk competition, someone has to step up, and one day in I'm sure the near future, one star will be like, I want to do it. And then the rest of them will be like, okay, we'll do it too.
I like the idea of not using the guys who are in the All-Star game in the skills competition that's the way it should be. Like, I feel like you get the guys who are best at those skills and put them into the skills competition. And then the All-Star game is for the All-Stars. And I feel like the NHL All-Star game, like, go get the fastest skaters and put them in the fastest skaters competition.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be from the guys who are actually in the game. Like, it's the skills.
Yep.
Go get the skills guys.
Yep.
So I want that.
I like that the NBA does that, and we're gonna have a big spotlight on NBA All-Star Weekend this weekend with S down there doing a whole bunch of content. Make sure you follow us.
And while he's there,
enjoy that.
He's going to have pizza every day.
I'm very interested to see what the Salt Lake scene is.
They found a sports bar in Salt Lake.
Like, what is the nightlife?
Shout out to our Discord because I snuck in there and I was like, hey, very random question. What do you do in Salt Lake City? And people came up with some suggestions.
Amazing.
So thank you very much.
I love that. I think were we not scouring the Utah Jazz chat?
Yeah.
Just to make sure, hey, what's up? Any Jazz fans here?
Yeah. And surprisingly, there were. I was like, the most recent post was December.
That's okay.
Which is more recent than I thought it would be.
So pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. I like
They have a surprisingly good team this year. So we'll see. Yeah. Catch that stream Saturday, youtube.com/STPN. Catch Adam's stream Saturday as well, too. This question's from Scotty Dubia.
Cool.
F1 testing right around the corner.
I think it's
Got any predictions for this upcoming season, Adam Wild?
I am depressed. I am depressed. McLaren has already said we're not sure about the car this year, and they had terrible breaks off the start of last year, which fucked up both Lando and Danny. And they got a rookie driver in their second spot this year, and they already can't give him a good car. And Zach Brown said, our air tunnel's not going to be done until the midway through next year. So we expect to be good in like 25, 26.
Is that the guy with the band?
Zach Brown? No. Different Zach Brown band.
Oh.
But he always has a lot of people around. I think Mercedes is going to come roaring back this year. And I think Red Bull's in trouble. Because I think those drivers, Verstappen and Perez, are putting on a nice brave face. I think they hate each other.
Which you have to, right?
Well, did you know what happened?
No.
So, okay.
I'm just talking shit.
So Perez was his late season, and Perez, they wanted him to finish second in the points because Verstappen had already won it like with 7 races to go.
Damn.
And Verstappen was in 5th or something, and Perez is in 6th. And they're like, Max, let Sergio by. And Max is like, no. And he's already wrapped it, right? They just wanted Perez they wanted them finishing 1-2 in the points. And Max is like, I'm not letting him by, no way. And he said, and I've already explained to you why I'm not doing that, and here's why, and blah, 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 blah. And it came down to a conspiracy theory, probably started by Max's father, but by these hardcore weirdo Max Verstappen fans, that Sergio Perez had intentionally crashed in Monaco at the beginning of the season to keep Max out of qualifying first in a race that he didn't do very well in at the end of the day anyway. And Perez, I believe, won that race. And so what Max was saying was he intentionally crashed in Monaco to win that. And in Monaco, you can't pass anyone. It's fucking impossible. Mm-hmm. And so where you basically qualify is where you end up. And basically he was essentially the thinking was, well, I won't, he did that to me, so I'm not going to let him by. And what it did was he was already the world champion. There's already questions about his attitude. And it just made him, outside of like the weird nerds that are Max Verstappen fans, it made them kind of like, oh, fuck, man. Like, how do I keep defending this guy? Yep. And his dad, who is an asshole, to just say the least, has been accused of like terrible things, is like in his ear all the time. You got to remember, these drivers are like 21, 22, 23. They're kids. Like, think about how old you were before you finally said, even in your 20s, to your parents, no, I'm not going to fucking do that. Not everything you say is, you know what I mean? And I think that there's a little bit of that going on. I think his dad's a bad dude. And I think those Red Bull guys, they're either going to have a great year or they're going to blow each other apart. And I think it's good. That, to me, is the team to watch. And I want to know what Ferrari does, because Ferrari is like, it's an important brand, and they just switched their team principal.
You a Paisan?
Yeah, Jesse, what do you think?
Williams gonna win the drivers' championship.
Fuck off. Williams is like
constructors.
It's so sad.
Oh yeah,
it's like one of the most storied teams in the entire in F1 history, and they can barely get a point.
Bringing this conversation to a place where I can participate,
please.
I had, speaking of Paisan, I had my Italianness called into question by an older Italian man recently.
What do you mean?
Because he was very obviously Italian, and I told him I was Italian, and he's like looking at me, and he can see where I'm coming from, but he goes, "You from the north?" Because in the winter I get very pale, and I had to tell him, "No, it's just my dad's a munja cake."
Sorry.
I tan in the summer after burning.
I
severely.
I have a question from a DM, if it's okay if we ask it. Are you guys okay with this?
Sure.
This is from Harrison. And I only bring this up because I thought it was an interesting question because I couldn't answer it immediately, and I wondered what the two of you thought. He said, "Hey, I'm going to be visiting Toronto shortly, and it'll be my first time in Canada. Do you guys have any favorite regional specific snacks? Like something you can only find in Canada and maybe not the States?" And I was kind of thinking about that, and I couldn't... Usually I just respond to my DMs, but I couldn't answer that. I don't know.
I think the issue with Toronto food is you have everything.
Yeah.
And it's all pretty good.
Like I just name everything. You know, It's all good shit.
It's
like if you were to go to the East Coast, it'd be like, well, I'll have some lobster. Like you go to McDonald's, you get a McLobster.
It's so multicultural that you get everything you want.
Yeah.
You know, there's no specific Toronto food where you're like, oh, you got to get this one. No, you can really get anything.
Only thing I would really say is like Caribbean. You could probably get really good Caribbean.
I would get the pad thai at Jack Astor's. I mean, if you're coming, Jack Astor's pad thai.
Do you remember when Jack Astor's had the, oh my God, the burger inside the pizza?
Yes, I do.
Was
they would serve it.
Was that Jack Astor's or was it Boston Pizza?
Oh, actually, that sounds like Boston.
I think it was Boston
Pizza.
BP for sure.
Who's also delicious.
Yes.
Which is
also
the company
fantastic.
Owned by the True Living family.
Yes, bring it back to hockey. That thing was so good.
You tried it?
I never had it.
Oh, I hope they bring it back. I forget, they had a funny name for it, dude. They called it like the Pie Burger or something, like the Pie Burger or something stupid. The Biza or something. I don't know. It was delicious.
There are great restaurants everywhere, and I just couldn't think of like there are no Toronto specific foods.
No,
it's super duper underrated food city, and I think the biggest problem is you ask any person where they should go, and everyone will have a different answer.
Yeah.
It depends on what pocket of the city they live in, what culture's food they like. You can get it all here. That's the beautiful thing about Toronto. It has everything.
By the way, I'm glad people are coming back to visit. It's in a bit of a Toronto seems to be in a bit of a fragile place at the moment. Like it's a bit.
Well,
it's a bit.
I was about to ask why.
Yeah.
Well, there's not just the mayor though. It's been a tough couple of years, and so it's nice to hear people coming back.
Can I do one last thing?
Yeah.
This is from Sir Digby Chicken Caesar. Reminded me of this. Sir Digby wants a special thread for Connor Ingram appreciation. And that is much deserved because Connor Ingram shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning 2 nights ago. 1 night ago, 2 nights ago. 1-0. The game went all the way to a shootout, 0-0. Connor Ingram, he had nearly 50 saves in that
47.
game. 47 was the shutout? Yeah. And it included an incredible one, 3-on-3 in OT, where he saves it with the back of his skate. Connor Ingram.
You were right about Ingram, Steve.
That's a hat pick. I was right about Ingram
That's
again.
a hat pick. One of the best game of his career, easily. It's his first career shutout.
Wasn't it a record for the most saves in a first shutout?
Was it?
Or like it was top 5.
Yeah. He should be one of the NHL 3 stars this week for that performance. Fantastic. Shout out Connor Ingram.
Bill Armstrong's going to be so pissed. He's like, hey, I got you because you're not good.
Yeah.
So with that save, the shots were 44-26. Wait, you mean to tell me he faced 3 more shots after that?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
The Lightning, they're peppering him, and he stood on his head.
Imagine Connor Ingram's the only Connor they ended up with this year.
Whoa,
That'd be a problem.
Hey,
imagine you bet this. I want to know what the odds were on like Sports Interaction. Coyotes shutout going into the game versus the Lightning.
I was so pissed because I saw what the score was and I saw how many shots, and I was like, yes, I have Vemelka. And then I saw...
You might be the worst fantasy player in the world.
I'm 4th out of 8.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
which is better than earlier.
All right.
Still bad.
Here's what I want to do next September. I want to do an episode where Professor Jesse teaches you how to do fantasy properly.
No, I want to play against Jesse.
I did that on the Jesse Blake Sports Report.
I want you to do it here.
I want to play against you. I want to humble you.
Oh,
yeah. Just absolutely humble
I'm
you.
going to overload you with
all my galaxy brain shitty
The only
picks.
thing with you and me in our leagues is we play with completely different rules.
Yes.
In our scoring system is completely different. So it throw me off.
Does your league dock points for penalty minutes?
You get points for penalty minutes.
Points.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're a little
so
funky.
I'm considering dropping Pierre-Luc Dubois because he has 7 minor penalties over the last 8 games, and you get docked for that.
That's ridiculous.
So he's killing me because he'll get a goal and I'll be like, yes, and then he'll take 2 penalties and I'm like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets an assist and then he takes a penalty and that takes away like a quarter of the assist or half of the assist. Yeah, he's killing me right now.
We just play by categories. So PIMS is like a category, and if you win that category that week, that's a victory. You know, that's a point to your total. So it's a little different. So we have to find some mutual rules if we want to make a new fantasy league. But we'll do something. We'll have fun.
Holding on to Vejmelka because Ingram is about to steal his job. And also, Vejmelka's getting traded to a really good team, and he's going to get nothing but shutouts.
Been saying that for months.
There you go.
Saying it for months.
He's on that Vejmelka train.
Most saves in a first NHL shutout. 40, big ol' 7.
That's wild.
Next week, we have a bit of a different schedule. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday will be our schedule next week.
What?
Because we had a long weekend in Canada. It's called Family Day, and like a bunch of fucking losers, we're going to spend it with our families.
Woo! Go family! Vin Diesel!
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.